Welcome to another episode of Dakota Prospecting. Now I'm more of a pick, pan, and shovel type prospector, but today I've got this MineLab Equinox 600 I'm going to be using to be shooting for some nuggets. And yes, you can find gold with an Equinox 600 if you just tweak a couple of settings, but that's for another video. What this episode's about is about the Gold Claw gold pan, the pros and the cons, and how to make it better. So let's head over to the rock crushing shed. Check it out. All right, we're at the rock crushing shed, and it's where I have the rock crusher. Been working out pretty good, I got to admit, and I'm pretty happy with it. But anyway, what this is about is a review of the Gold Claw, and this is made in USA, which is really cool. I think it's important to note that. It's good to support manufacturing here in this country. That said, this pan is of a mixture of an aggressive pan with these classifier up here, kind of like the Garnet Super Sluice pan, and a finishing pan in that it has these finer ridges here. These are really fine ridges. And then here you have a little more aggressive ridges. So I use this for a finishing pan, and I've also used it in the field and found that it was pretty good. I think it's really handy when you're going to metal detect because it's small and it fits in your pack, and you don't necessarily need a classifier because it has these ridges here, and then right here it has some more finer ridges here, and it seems to do a pretty good job. Its limitations, the first one being quite obvious, it's pretty small. I mean, it's not very big. You can't put but maybe a medium-sized shovel, you know, a standard-sized shovel, but I mean a medium, loaded up about medium height, not super loaded. And then the aggregate size, you obviously can't handle big rocks sticking out in here. Okay, so that's one limitation. Then the other limitation as it's produced, and there have been comments from others, these are typically open here on the side, you can see. And so the problem is, if you have this loaded up, I'm sure you've seen the videos on how to operate this. It stays underwater, but basically I'm going to pull it out of the water to show. And you go back and forth like this. Now you don't want to do this. Okay, you want to keep it stationary and go back and forth like it's on a railroad track. Okay, back and forth like that. But there are comments on YouTube by different guys that tried it, and they refer to the edges here as you can lose gold out here on the side because this is open. And I would agree. I've seen material swoosh up through here and then drip out the edge. So that's not good. And the other thing is when you go to turn it around and you go to do your finish, from here to here you're protected, but from here all the way over to here you're not. And so if you have a fair amount of material and you're shaking it like that, it can tend to bleed over here on the sides. That's not a good thing. So this is not only a review, but if you've been following my videos, it's how to make things better or create things on your own. And so keeping in the spirit of this channel, what you see here, and I'm sure you noticed it from the very beginning, you see two lines here of a clear liquid. Now what that is hot glue. And the fix, which you probably figured out already by now, is to take a hot glue gun, heat it up, get it heated up, and while it's heating up, you want to take like 220 or 200 grit sandpaper, something fine, and buff this up around here. And this is going to help the hot glue adhere to the pan here. So once you get it in a flow state, take a Sharpie pen and a straight edge, and then put a black line about this angle here. Now this aggregate that remains after this aggregate should be held back reasonably with this little bead here. And it's not very big. It's not any bigger up than this, but it gives you that extra protection going up. Okay, so that really fixes that, and you're able to keep your finer aggregates in so that they have to go through the ripples before they're allowed to exit. On the other side, and you probably already noticed this as well, it's the same material. It's hot glue that has been heated up and then put it in layers. Now this took about 3 layers. You can't make one big gob like that. And you basically just fill that in with hot glue, and it's pretty simple. Now, if you don't have a hot glue and you don't have a caulking gun, go to a hardware or building supply store and get a small tube applicator of silicone. Snip off the end and use the tube. But now the thing about the silicone, before you apply your second layer and third layer, you're going to have to wait for it to set up, whereas the hot glue tacks up pretty quickly. So if you've been following some of my videos, if you've found a drift mine while gold prospecting, I gather some ore out of that drift mine and promise to pan it out here and see what we come up with. So we're going to actually pan some real material that came out of that drift mine and show you how this works. Now I don't know if there's any color in it, so to demonstrate the effectiveness or lack of the effectiveness of this pan, what I have here is some birdshot that I pulled out while I was panning along the creek. And if you've seen the video Sticky Gold, you'll know that this is where this came from. So this is real deal stuff, but because we don't know if there's any ore in here, we're going to use birdshot as an indicator, which has about the same specific gravity as AU. So we got 6 of them, 3 and 3, unclassified. And this came from the hole that was about 6 feet deep, where they were following pay, I guess. But anyway, you can check that video out if you haven't seen it already. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put it under. And I forgot to put our lead in there. Doesn't matter, it's going to get all shook up anyway. So that's 3 and 3. Okay. And now we'll knead it like we normally would for this kind of material. Make sure it's already moist, but you know, so it's not like bone dry. I got a little bit of jet dry in here. Okay, so I believe I got it all. And then slowly tip it. Much more what it would normally be. Okay. And normally I do the jitterbug, which is to clean the deeper classifiers. And let's see what we got here as far as aggregate. There's 2 big ones, no big deal. No big deal. I want to get those out, get some of the bigger ones out, because these could knock out a piece of color that's smaller than it. So you want to make sure you get that. Because, you know, this is just the way I do it. You don't have to do it this way. Okay, so that's what we're left with right there. And it's not a lot. I could already see 3 pieces of those, that birdshot, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I see all 6. We didn't lose it on that first step. So now we'll get some water in here. So now I'm dipping it in, shaking it while it stays on the water. And now pushing it back. How many we got now? 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we got all 6. Okay, well, now let's see if we got any color in this. Yeah, I like this little spot here where you can pour that stuff off with a control. Okay. Yeah, let's see what's here. There's one little piece of sub mesh 100. Blue shows the color much better, so that's what I like about the Mind Lab. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the same test, but with a Mind Lab, with a regular pan. This comes with the Pro Gold package. There's a 1/2 inch classifier. This, a full-size Mind Lab, which is my go-to pan, and then this small cleanup pan. Now I use this for cleaning up the color once it's in the snuffer bottle. I like it for that, and then what I'll do is once I get it all down in here, then I'll let it dry out, and then what I'll do is I'll tap it and bring it over to here. This is just 2 paper clips that are bent and then scotch taped over. Creates a nice slicky slide surface, and when it's dry, once it gets over there, it just pours out of there. I mean, you could pour it right into your jar, you know. I'm thinking of maybe doing this with hot glue and eliminate the steel, but having the tape though makes a nice slick surface, and I was having a hard time getting it out of the pan and putting it in a jar or wherever you keep it. But having that sure makes it easy. Just a little tap, and even sub 100 stuff just slides right off there. Okay, well, let's try it with this. Put it in there. Whoa, that's a big one. That's probably all I want to put in there. Okay, so we're going to put this stuff in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll tell you another thing for you guys that are just starting out. It's a great way to practice your efficiency, to see if you're, got it down to where you're not going to be losing color when you get out into the real world. Great way to spend an afternoon, or spend some time. Just get some jet dry. That's that dishwashing agent that gets the glasses spotless. That's all it is, in case you didn't know that. Put a drop or 2 in a tub like this. You don't want to overdo it because you don't want a lot of suds. And then, hey, practice. Practice. Because once you get confident in it, you know where to push it and where not to push it. And at first I had my doubts whether I was doing it right or whatever. And then I started practicing with birdshot and stuff, and before you knew it, it comes natural now. I mean, I don't even think about it, and I don't worry. When I started out, if I would see a piece of color in the middle of panning, right away I'd go for the snuffer bottle because I didn't want to lose it. Not anymore, because I understand the physics of it. Got those red-winged blackbirds. You hear that? It's mid-April and they're back, ready to rock. There's big rocks. Oh, they're taking up a lot of space. See, one of the nice things about the Gold Claw is that it would get rid of those real quick. Whereas in a traditional pan, it's not as fast. So it does have that going for it. But, like I say, I typically classify my material down to 1/4 inch. And so that kind of stuff is not an issue. But like I had earlier stated, if you were, going out for a hike and you wanted to have a pan just in case you saw an area that you maybe like to test pan, what's nice about the Gold Claw is you don't need to carry a classifier. In theory, okay. So that's kind of nice. Of course, I guess you can't really put a classifier on there anyway. It would be difficult. You can make a small classifier for this one though. I mean, it wouldn't be a big deal. It's hard to see the aggregate to control the, you know, the motion of the water. You want the water to lick off the top aggregate, basically. You know, so it's like licking an ice cream cone or something. I don't know, maybe that sounds kind of weird, but it's just one analogy, okay? Alright, what do we got? First we'll look for the shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6. I expected as much. I mean, the technique employed in this type of pan has been tested for quite a while. If it wasn't good, this wouldn't be the technique that was used for the longest time. Just about there. And I don't see any color for you guys that were wanting to know. I think with the mods that I show, and for a pan to throw in a backpack, or keep in the truck, in the glove compartment, or under the seat, with a little spade, this could be a great grab and go type pan. So this pan for me falls into that category. It's a grab and go pan. It wouldn't be my main pan. I love my Mind Lab due to the classification capability and the fact that I can really load that sucker up and rip through some material. But for a grab and go, this is really great. Throw in a backpack. Also, I'm finding that it's really handy when you got crushed ore, because that's really small and you've already classified it. Or even if you didn't, as long as you're 20 mesh and under, which is what you want to be anyway when you're crushing rock, it's a great finishing pan. Well, I hope you found that Gold Claw review useful. And if you want to be informed from my next video, which is going to be how to use a Mind Lab 600 Equinox for gold hunting, hit that subscribe button and you'll get informed as soon as that video posts. Until the next time, clear skies, stay safe, and thanks for tuning in to Dakota Prospecting.